the second video talking about different kawaii styles. So this one is all about what you want to know if you've just started out in kawaii, or if you are interested in how to be kawaii. This is the video to keep on watching. So first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to research or how to create your own style. So I recommend taking a good look at the different communities that you can actually get out in the big kawaii cake. So for example, you have all of the different like small communities that are more westernized, which are usually have K at the end of their names, or you have traditional styles which you can get at and on Harajuku streets. So have a good look at which ones really suit you and suit your style. I would definitely recommend doing lots of research. My biggest tip is to do a lot of research. You can mainly look online, but there are a lot of other like small books and things like that you can get at your local library, which will talk a little bit about kind of Harajuku fashion and talk about the originating aspects. So I recommend taking a look at those, but maybe on a more casual basis. If you want to just start wearing kawaii, I recommend having a good look online at the different communities there are. The best place for me that I would recommend is to have a better look at Kei Club. Kei Club is a community, a magazine, a lifestyle. It's also collaborated, or I think the lady who runs it also runs a kawaii fashion brand, which is really helpful. So when you're kind of stuck for ideas, you can go to the main centre and you'll be able to find all the different styles, all of the different shops that are recommended. So this one mainly kind of aerates on Facebook, but also has a community on Twitter and on Instagram. So I recommend checking them out. They have so many different members from so many different communities, so you're gonna love it. And there's loads of inspiration to take from literally everyone. I also recommend, once you have your outline or your idea and where you want to look and what you want to look like, that you start looking into more specific areas. So for me, my first kind of introduction to kawaii fashion was through the makeup, which is unusual, I think. Quite a lot of people have either met Lolita like dressing, or they've met people who dress in the kawaii fashion. But for me, it was more, I'd really wanted to do a cosplay of Hatsune Miku, and on YouTube at the time, Michelle Fan, who was a big makeup influencer at the time and still is, was doing tutorials on how to look like Hatsune Miku, and how to make your eyes look bigger and how to contour your face like the way that they do it out there. So that was my first introduction, and I really wanted to enjoy creating that again and again. So I started doing my makeup like that more often. I got better at it. I learned new techniques. So I recommend looking into maybe the makeup side, looking into like more creative outlets and starting from there. Also looking online at different outfits. As much as I recommend looking at the brands, I don't necessarily recommend buying from a brand in the first like 3 or so months, just because it can be quite a lot of money, and if you're not quite sure on the style, then it could be a bit of a loss for you. So I recommend using what you currently have and adapting it or selling it to get better pieces. Another thing I recommend is starting off quite small and simply. So for example, just finding small accessories, or even just incorporating it into your kind of daily life. So for example, I recommend maybe getting like a small eater bag that you can cover it in cute little badges and stuff, and you can wear it around and see how you feel, see how you kind of react to it and how other people react to you, and see whether it's something that you enjoy. So yeah, I also recommend going to either local conventions or even nation conventions, just to have a good look at everything, especially if you go in kind of small kawaii stuff. Even if you're just starting out and it's just a few things from your wardrobe, people will appreciate it so much and you'll feel so at home and you'll love it. So I recommend doing that so much. It's a great way to build confidence and find people that you really like and like that think like you do. So I really recommend doing that as well. Of course, looking on social media, doing your research on social media, finding the small communities and influencers that you really like. For me personally, I think the best place to start, my favourite kawaii YouTuber is Pixielocks. Main reason is that she kind of came up with coined the phrase party Kei, which is really cool, and came up with lots of other ideas over the years and has shown her flexibility, and it really kind of shows the flexibility of the kawaii community as a whole. She's really positive and lovely and I really recommend her. So if you are interested in the kawaii community, I recommend there is a great place to start. So, and definitely a very big inspiration of mine. So a few other things that I also recommend not doing. So I recommend not doing like just picking a style that your friends are all into. So for example, if you're going to be going for a particular style because your mate's doing it, you're less likely to enjoy it. You will enjoy the kind of like social aspect, but it's not, and leading on to my next point, it's not you. I recommend not trying to get rid of you or create a whole new persona just to be in the kawaii community. Kawaii is supposed to enhance the personality and the style you already have. So there's no need to take away from your personality. Every single person is different. So adding all of these beautiful cutesy elements just gives you a more rounded and more open personality, which is super cool. So you don't need to create a whole new persona. It's just nice to have. I also recommend not trying everything. Try everything. Just try everything. See what styles you like. I recommend just looking into literally every avenue. Try on dresses you never thought you would. Try on like those track pants. I never ever thought I would love track pants. I don't wear any kind of like trousers at all, but it turns out I really love culottes and I love the little slits in the sides and stuff like that. I think they're really cool. But yeah, so I recommend trying absolutely everything. And of course, I recommend doing research on your particular style. If you're starting out in a style, you can have a good look at all the different communities, and they're usually really good at pointing out kind of the flaws or the little pitfalls that you don't want to jump into. So just be a little bit like open-minded, see everything as it is, and do lots of different types of research. And I also, again, I recommend don't spend too much money in the first like couple of months. It's just, not everything has to be branded, not everything has to be expensive. These bows were £7 and I got like 10 of them, so they are literally everywhere and I wear them in every outfit, so I recommend that. And that's about everything. So altogether, I think the main message is just to do a lot of research, try lots of different things, find what makes your heart sing, what makes you you, and you can become the beautiful kawaii person person you want to be. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be posting some more, and there will be some like different content coming up soon, just because I want to kind of experiment and do some other things. So I hope you guys all have a great day. I hope you're all doing well in quarantine as well, because since we're still kind of in the midst of it all. And have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!